Guys, I have the BATVERSE news coming up, and I have an exclusive interview with Batman himself, Mr. Robert Pattinson. Robert, right, I need to know this. One question I could ask. Who is going to be the villain of the sequel? Condiment King? Hello Petters YouTube, welcome to another That's Just Joe video. My name's Joe and that's about it. So we've got some big BATVERSE news. Another big BATVERSE video to talk about. Literally I did a video yesterday talking about how Matt Reeves has confirmed he is writing the Batman 2 at the moment with his co-writers. But we've even got more news, and coming from Collider once again in this big interview he's recently done, giving us an update on the status of the Batman 2. So first off, I want to talk about the upcoming Penguin TV show. Upcoming, well, they're due to start filming in a couple of months time, but I'm very excited to see this. Colin Farrell returning as the Penguin from the Batman, and this show is actually going to connect straight into the sequel of the Batman. I guess we'll call it the Batman 2, as I said in my last video. Reeves went on to explain there's actually a whole little fabric of things we're wanting to do, the way we're doing with the Penguin, and how that comes back into how that will lead into the sequel and what that sequel is going to be. So yeah, the Penguin is going to lead straight into the Batman. That's going to be great for us fans, you know, kind of get a feel of how the world of Gotham is at that time and everything. I think the series is going to be about the Penguin's rise to power, and he will climb to the top in the end, but it's going to be a struggle. Colin Farrell recently gave an interview talking about how he read the first script and he was very excited and it was very tasty, and he thinks it'll be about 7, 8 or 9 episodes. So we're definitely going to see the rise of the Penguin in this show. And to be honest, I really hope we see Colin as the Penguin again in the sequel. I hope it's not just going to be something that's going on in the background. But there is another interesting key element in this article, is that the Penguin might not be the only project Reeves is currently developing, as he also tells Collider there are some things we have planned too. The BATVERSE of what we're doing has me very excited, and I'm very passionate about it, so I'm excited. Obviously it's been talked about in the past, but there was going to be an Arkham Asylum show, there was going to be a GCPD show that got cancelled somewhat, but it sounds like these shows are very much back on track, and I'm sure he's teasing the possibility of shows that have not been announced yet. Now, another interesting tidbit from this interview is that Matt Reeves is to meet with James Gunn and Peter Safran, who are the co-CEOs of DC Studios, the newly developed DC Studios, for the BATVERSE. He goes on to talk about basically why he's meeting with James Gunn and Peter Safran. I think he's trying to calm a lot of fans down who are big fans of this film and this BATVERSE, that this story is continuing outside of the newly formed DC universe. In this article it says, we were relieved when Reeves confirmed this week that he's still working on the Batman sequel, which I talked about in my last video. The filmmaker also intends to expand his BATVERSE with the Penguin series, which we just talked about. That doesn't mean Reeves has free reign over his BATVERSE though. He still needs to sit down with James Gunn and Peter Safran to lay out his long-term plan. As Reeves tells us, Gunn and Safran have been great. We're actually supposed to meet in the next few weeks because they want to talk to me about the broad plan, and then they want to hear the BATVERSE plan. We're just getting together to talk about all of that. Look, I'm excited to hear what they're going to do. The BATVERSE thing, as James has said, and as Peter has said, is kind of its own thing they're letting us do. As I said in my last video, it was actually reported that the first person James Gunn spoke to when he became the co-CEO of DC Studios was Matt Reeves, and I think it was to reassure him that his Batman universe is going nowhere. It's going to continue in TV shows, film, maybe video games in the future, who knows. But I think that's really interesting, and it kind of confirms that James Gunn is a huge fan of Reeves, and I'm sure they're going to work together in future. Matt Reeves also went on to say, I had this dream for the way I wanted that to play out, and that's part of what I'm going to be talking to them about in a few weeks. They're going to be talking to me about what they're doing in their 10-year plan, or certainly what's in the near future, as well, so that we can understand that we're not it's air traffic control. We don't want to be crashing into each other. We want to support each other. I'm super excited. I'm really excited to hear about what they're doing and to be working with them. It's going to be cool. Now, with that news, that reassures us fans that the BATVERSE is going to continue. But talking about the BATVERSE, as this video is mainly about that, we got a little bit of story element of the sequel and the character of Bruce Wayne going forward. And Matt Reeves has confirmed that the sequel will keep Bruce Wayne as the focus, says Matt Reeves. This article is really interesting because it kind of points out not the flaws of the past films, but how it concentrates more on the rogues gallery, like The Dark Knight. I wouldn't say Batman v Superman, but maybe Justice League, and a few other Batman films before that. But those films very much start to concentrate on the main antagonist. But Reeves has confirmed in this interview with Collider, to me, the thing that I really feel is that I also believe that Robert Pattinson is so special in the role. My goal has always been to do these point of view stories that allow the character to always be the emotional center of the story, because a lot of times what happens is after you do the first one, then suddenly other rogues gallery characters come in and they kind of take over, and then Batman takes a back seat sort of character wise or emotionally. Now, I have to agree with Matt Reeves on this point completely. I completely agree that the past live-action projects have sort of shifted to the Rogues Gallery more, like The Dark Knight with the Joker, and Dark Knight Rises definitely Bane and the League of Shadows and everything, and previous Batman projects. But I'm really happy to hear that they're going to be concentrating more on the character of Bruce Wayne. And I really want to see this version of Bruce Wayne go out in the open world, put on this facade of being a rich, famous playboy and everything. I want to see Robert Pattinson challenge that head on, and I think you all do too. So I'm hoping, well, it sounds like it's happening, that they're going to do that in the sequel and beyond. So Matt Reeves has obviously given us a lot of detail talking about the Batman sequel in this Collider interview. So thanks again, Collider, for this. But I do have to kind of shove this in as the last thing we talk about, that James Gunn has shut down a Superman casting rumour. In a recent tweet by a Superman fan site on Twitter called Superfilm News, they were suggesting Jacob Elordi is rumoured to be James Gunn's Superman for the DC Universe. And James Gunn obviously shot this down straight away. And this is the great thing about having the co-CEO of DC Studios on Twitter, to kind of confirm fake news. It's fake news, alright, it's fake news. But to confirm fake news, and he said, "My thoughts are no one has been cast as Superman yet. Casting, as is almost always the case with me, will happen after the script is finished or close to finished. And it isn't. We'll announce a few things in not too long, but the casting of Superman won't be one of them." And then he's put a little mermaid emoji. So, wait, is Jason Momoa Superman? Oh my god! Mom, Jason Momoa's Superman! Jason Momoa! It's obviously universal that a lot of people, when they write stuff, they do have actors in their heads. And I don't fully believe this statement from James Gunn. I feel like he has an idea of who he'd want or what sort of person he'd want based on an actor in real life. But this confirms that, Superman is still in the writing process, script isn't done, but it also tells us that we're not far from the DC Universe slate announcement. Look, guys, this was a very quick video just to break down the Collider interview, the recent James Gunn news. I really do think we're going to find out some news very, very soon. It feels like this big lead up, and I really hope they're going to do it in a really cool way that's just going to smash how Marvel does their announcements at Comic-Con and everything. I'm really praying the DC Universe going forward is going to be spectacular, and I'm looking forward to the future of Matt Reeves' Batverse and beyond. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching the video. Did you enjoy this video? I'm trying a different format change, trying to be a bit cuttier and quicker. Let me know in the comments below, but also let me know your thoughts about this news from Matt Reeves and the James Gunn Superman news. Let me know in the comments below. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and may the Force be with you. It's the wrong film.